is there a potential big dump coming for Chainlink? Really? Really, Chainlink? Hello Adrian and welcome back to my channel. It is 7:30 p.m. and UTC +8 is my time zone. Hope you are all doing well on this beautiful Saturday evening. It is weekend. Yes, fun times. Nothing else to do than to be looking at cryptocurrency charts. That's basically our life. That's what we are going to be doing as well on this Saturday evening. We don't have a life at all. That's all we're doing. Anyways, let's say hello to the hardcore crew. Hi Zaldi, hi Hitchem, hi Gerson, Hi Gita, hi Theodore. Hope you are all doing well on this beautiful Saturday and so on. Hi Donald, hope you are doing well. Thank you for your message as well, for your positive message. Anyways, let's move on into some COVID numbers while the other people are coming in slowly, because it's a Saturday. So I assume that people will be having other things to do than to be watching some cryptocurrency charts. But hey, who knows? So we are at over 5.3 million cases for the United States. Brazil has over 3.2 million cases and India over 2.5 million cases. So yeah, on those countries, things are rapidly increasing a lot, right? So the South American countries, as you can see, it's starting to pick up really quickly, to be honest. So let's take a look on the charts. I don't think there's anything much different on the charts to be seen. I think we are still moving up really quickly. We are at over 21 million cases now over the whole world. Hi Coral, thank you, and welcome. Hi Lexman. So we are the top 6. All the charts are pretty much looking almost the same. We are still mooning like crazy on the COVID situation. Let's put it like that. There is still no end in sight, sadly enough. So let's hope that rumor that the Russians have a COVID vaccine is true. But as most people think that it's just a rumor and that's not true just yet. So yeah, but other than that, I am a positive person, so let's hope things are going that right way. Hi Cedric, hope you are doing well as well. So let's move on into the technical analysis. The first thing that we always check is, of course, hey, what is going on with the Dixie? And the Dixie is still, of course, at the very low point. Got rejected, as you can see, very beautifully from the pivot point. Below the EMA 21 and below the EMA 55. That means pretty good stuff for the whole global investment market and so on and so on and so on. So good stuff for the Dixie. No issues there. That is good. Anyways, going back into the traditional markets, we do see some warning signs. So we had the weekly close on the NASDAQ chart, and if we are looking at the weekly close on the NASDAQ, this is what we are seeing right now on a weekly closing basis. Is this a potential reversal? Yes. I mean, if you're just looking at that candle, it's not a very pretty weekly candle, to be honest. But if we are going a little bit down towards the daily, how did the daily close? The daily didn't close badly at all, as you can see. Still above all major moving averages, and basically setting up once again a higher low. So I don't think it is the end just yet, although we kind of have to be a little bit careful here and see how the next week goes, right? So because this could be a potential reversal candle on the weekly basis, but just looking down on the like I said, on the daily basis, just looks like we just setting in another higher low here, another higher low here, as you can see. So the trend is your friend until the end. So things still look quite good. So I don't think we are going to see any issues just yet. The S&P chart, let's take a look on the weekly close as well. The S&P looks a lot stronger than the NASDAQ. As you can see, we touched the green box that we are destined to be touching. As you can see, this is our previous all-time high. Yeah, I mean, this looks very much like a continuation. If we are looking on the daily as well, things are still looking very good. As you can see, way above way above all moving averages, above the 10 simple mark, above the EMA 21, above the 21 simple moving average, above the EMA 55, obviously. And it looks like next week is most likely going to be the case that we are going to be breaking all-time high on the S&P. Very likely. So with the things, how things are going. So Dixie good, traditional markets okay, with a little warning sign on the weekly chart on Nasdaq. So always keep that in mind. Keep that that little thing in mind before anything else. Hi Lex, hi Michael. Hope you are all doing well on this Saturday as well. So let's move on into our technical analysis on the cryptocurrency charts, or our favorite, good old Bitcoin, right? So this is basically what we are seeing right now on the daily chart, right? This is the daily chart. It looks like we are forming some sort of like a channel, a rising channel towards the upside, right? So what are we seeing right now? We are basically in this zone right here, in the middle. Not negative, trying to be breaking basically the median of this channel towards the upside, but it hasn't broken towards the upside just yet. So yeah, pretty much waiting it out. But if you are looking carefully, if we are looking a couple of days ahead, next week, most likely if things keep on going towards this side, towards the upside like this, we will most likely get that critical break towards the upside, and then of course we can be talking about this area here towards the top side, which is the 13,000 area, or our next step, and then most likely we will have a breather towards the downside once again, and then break back up once again towards the next target, which is eventually our 14,000 area, right? So those are basically the daily areas that we have been looking at and what we are expecting to be seeing, right? So but for now, on the daily basis, we are at the top of this channel. It can very likely, as you know, break down back towards the downside of the channel and then move back up, for example. It's very, 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 very possible. So be very careful. It's still weekend. Like I said, right now, I would just put some scam orders at this green box here, because, well, it is very near our EMA 21 on the daily basis. So around 11,350 ish. This area here, this green box here. Just leave some scam orders there. That is what I would be doing, because, well, you never know that we are going to be hitting that situation towards the downside. Okay, so let's move on onto the shorter time frame, because, well, that's what we are trading on more on the daily basis, right? So on the smaller time frames, we can clearly see exactly the same. It's exactly the same situation. We are in some sort of like a rising channel towards the upside as well, right? So we are basically at the top of this rising channel. It can break towards the upside. It can also break towards the downside. Now, if we are looking at the RSI and stuff and so on, RSI is looking more towards the high side, and also the Stokes are really, really high at this moment in time. So do I think that during this weekend we are going to be breaking out towards the upside? Most likely not. So is it possible that we can still in the next 4 hours still retest this top area here around the 12,000? Sure, it's very possible. Is it possible that we move back down towards the 11,700 ish area, or this bottom of this channel? Very, very probable as well. Now, one thing that you need to be keeping in mind, like I said, if we are making a measured move from this channel, and let's say we break up towards the upside, let's say over the next couple of days we break up towards the upside, and then we can see the next target would be around the $12,500 area that I am targeting if we are breaking towards the upside. But on the other hand, if we are breaking it towards the downside, as you can see here, let's say we break over the next couple of days, we break towards the downside, will be back towards this green box here, which is where this EMA 21 is going onto, right? So in the short term, it can break towards the downside, it can break towards the upside. So make sure that you are very, very aware of it as well, right? So it's how do we play this this line, right? So it's quite easy to be playing this channel, to be honest. Okay, so as you can see, this is the median, right? The median is exactly at the R1. As you can see here, this is the median, right? The median is right here, or basically the 10 simple moving average that is moving towards the upside right here. So over the next, if we see a 4-hour candle closing below the 10 simple moving average or below the R1, which is at right now at 11,848. So if we see a 4-hour candle closing below the 10 simple moving average, very, very probable that the price is going to be moving back down towards the bottom of the channel, right? Around, like I said, around the 11,700-ish area, 11,700-ish area. If we are closing below the green box here, very, very likely that we will be making a move back down towards the 11,350-ish area, right? So that's basically how I'm playing this this channel right now. I'm not in a position. I will be trying to be getting myself into a position just by putting scam orders around this area here, in case that, you know, like if in case the channel breaks down towards the downside, because the reason why I'm thinking that and it's not really 100% sure, right, that it's going to be breaking down towards the downside, but during the weekend, as you know, I don't really care about trading. I don't really want to be in a position, and I will be figuring things out when Monday, when everything comes to an end. And like I said, very, very likely it will just be most likely be ranging within this channel towards the end of the weekend, to be honest, and most likely we will be around this 11,800-ish area. The reason why is, of course, the CME chart is already closed at around that level, at around 11,800, right? So we kind of have like some sort of like a target for the end of the week, or the weekly candle close on Monday, right? So for now, it still looks, like I said, if it the next 4-hour candle close, so in the next 15 minutes, if we close above the R1, most likely we will have another attempt towards the R3, so near 12,000. If we start closing below in the next 15 minutes, like I said, below the R1, very likely we will have a leg back down towards somewhere around here, around the 11,700-ish area. Well, how does that look on the RSI? Well, let's take a look. We've been talking about that already. If the RSI is going all the way down towards this support area and bouncing back up, for example, this support area, as you can see, the RSI is around, let's say 49-ish, as you can see on the left-hand side, 49. And if we are putting that into the RSI calculator, as you can see here, the price would be at 11,694.3. So basically what I'm saying is that we will be going back into our green box towards the downside here, right? So that's basically that price here. So just down back towards this green box here. And then obviously it's the same thing, right? If we start closing, like I said, if I start closing below that green box, obviously most likely we'll be trending towards that green box towards the downside, and that would mean that we would be once again breaking this pattern towards the downside, and then most likely going back up once again, something like that. Is it possible that we are having a scam wick towards the downside back to like 11,350, 11,400-ish during the weekend? It's possible. It's very, very possible, right? So that's why I am just, you know, like I said, just get ready for something like this, you know, scam wick towards the downside, and then, but like I also said, that would be just meaning on the daily we'll be retouching basically this area here, the EMA 21. And just to be flushing out some some over leveraged longs, basically. That's basically what the plan is for the traders. And yeah, I'm just putting it out there. Is it going to be happening? Not really sure that it's going to be happening, but it's a probability, and you should really keep that in mind as well. Other than that, I would not, obviously at this point and at this level, I would not put any positions or anything like that. We are basically in the middle of green boxes, basically. So not interested in any position. Any position that I maybe might be interesting in being taking is somewhere around here. If once again, if we get that, if things are looking good and we get that bounce back up towards the upside, so that's also very possible, right? We go back down and we go back up around here. Basically, this point here, back to the. If we see on the RSI that we're making that bounce towards the upside, then most likely we will still be ending up into this channel, right? But on the other hand, be very, 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 very careful. This action is always, weekend is full of bullshit. So be very, very careful whenever you are thinking about entering into a trade. So during the week, and definitely during the weekend. And Laxman, you should never, ever go into a position without a stop loss or without a plan, right? Never, ever, just never. So if you enter a position, you should already be having a plan before that already, right? So could this be considered a head and shoulders? On what time frame are you looking at? You mean on what time frame are you looking at? On the daily? Let's take a look on the daily, where if we can see some head and shoulders pattern, something like. No, not really. No, it's very, very far-fetched. Now, the reason why is this volume pattern is actually looks really good for an ascending triangle. So if we are looking at the volume, we can see here on the bottom, it is slowly dissipating. Oh, wait, why am I having a magnet here? It is slowly going down here, as you can see here, from the right hand side to the left. Wait, let me move this one a little bit down here. You can clearly see that it's moving from the very high volume, slowly trickling down. And what does that mean? That whenever this pattern, this triangle around the 70 to 75% is going to be breaking up towards the upside, right? So, and if we are looking at the 70-75%, what date are we looking at? Somewhere around next week, as you can see, right? So somewhere around next week, we will have a full move towards the upside. So I'm pretty much confident to be saying that next week we will have a resolution. And like I said, I can't be bearish if we are still holding the lower highs, the higher lows, the higher lows that we keep on moving, and also of course the things that we are looking at on a very high time frame. Everything is showing positive momentum. So yeah, next week, pretty confident to say that that will most likely get our break towards the upside. But during this weekend, like I said, be very careful. Like I said, put some. I mean, this is not financial advice, of course. This is just what I'm going to be doing personally myself. Your money is your own responsibility. But yeah, I'm just putting on some scam orders around here. Please do note that if that level does not hold, the next box is once again back towards the low $11,000, right? So I'm just saying, just trade level by level, green box by green box. That's basically it. Don't take too much risk whenever you are in a position, or else you'll get wrecked, right? So is it possible that we get dumped again at when we reach 12,200? Of course, there's always a chance that we get dumped again if we reach that level there. But the thing is, usually what happens after 3 touches, the third touch is really the golden touch, right? So we already have 1 touch. This is our second touch, and if we, let's say, slowly move towards the upside here, and over in the next week we get that touch towards the upside once again, and with the volume showing us basically that next week we will have a very nice big move towards the upside, with the volume strictly going down slowly. Yeah, I think that this one is most likely going to be a break towards the upside rather than the downside, to be honest. So like I said, most likely we'll be seeing a break towards the upside, something like this, with the volume. Obviously it's not going to be immediately towards the 13,000, but something like 12,500, small pullback, and then up towards the 13,000 area, something like that. So all eyes are basically for next week. Now it's just getting getting yourself ready in a in a nice position, basically. Why do I think that the third time is the charm? Well, some people already have said about it. It's Ethereum, right? So if we are looking at Ethereum, basically very similar situation that we have seen, right? So just looking at Ethereum, we can see here we have our first touch here, we have our second touch here, retest, and then the third time was the charm with massive volume towards the upside, right? So basically that's usually what happens in a breakout or in a pattern. And remember yesterday when I yeah, that's some oracle shit right there. Yesterday I said most likely we'll be going towards the 445 area, or this R2, and as you can see it touched exactly that R2 at 445 until it took a breather towards the downside, right? So for the people who were listening or watching Ethereum yesterday, yes, I told you, gonna take another leg up towards the R2 for 445. That was the area towards the downside, and now as you can see, most likely a retracement back into the median somewhere around this area, might even wick, like I said, back into this support area, because that is where our green box is held. And I'm still, like I said, since Ethereum is a little bit more emotional and a little more an altcoin emotional, so this is the area that I'm aiming at for Ethereum, which kind of makes sense with this EMA 55 moving towards the upside. Not saying that we won't have a bounce here, because as you can see here, we have the EMA 21 right at the median as well of our channel. So something like this, back up, and then maybe somewhere like this, and then break back up and continuation towards the upside or something like that, right? So you can play, if the very short term, you would definitely be able to play here, because most likely we'll have a bounce, except if Bitcoin makes that crash towards the 11,350, right? Then it will most likely be immediately going back to this green box here. So if you don't want to be taking that risk, don't put any positions here. Just wait out for this position here on the downside, right? So yeah, that's basically my plan. I'm just gonna put some easy going and non-risk area, scam positions around here at this area, in case that during the weekend that it breaks the pattern towards the downside. Do I think that it will be breaking towards the downside? Well, you never know, but yeah, right now it is looking a little bit to the toppy end if we are looking at the momentum indicators, but we will be going over the momentum indicators in a short while, over the 5 minutes, when we are hitting the next 4-hour or the 12-hour candle close. The main topic for today is, of course, Chainlink, because Chainlink has been the most interesting a quick note on the Bitcoin dominance. Sure. So the Bitcoin dominance is very low right now, right? So all the altcoins are rallying, but be very careful. Very careful. If you are looking at the RSI, we are actually starting to make bullish divergence here on the RSI. So what means we are making lower lows on the Bitcoin dominance, but higher low on the RSI. So be very careful. We are at this very low point. I think it will be a huge, like I said, next week I expect Bitcoin to be breaking out of the pattern, and then that Bitcoin dominance is going to be spiking up towards the top side once again. That's just a guarantee. So whatever you do, next week is not the time to be trading your altcoins. that's all I'm saying. If Bitcoin, once again, that's another probability, if Bitcoin is going to be lining up for a breakout towards the upside, it's not the time to be in altcoins, because this Bitcoin dominance is going to be spiking up towards the upside. Like I said, lower low, higher low on the RSI. Bullish divergence is being formed right now on the Bitcoin dominance. So be very careful. Next week, that's where I'm targeting the move towards the upside. So altcoins, I would stay away from the altcoins next week, but next week is still a long time to go, and it's all probabilities, of course. First, we need to get to see that Bitcoin doesn't crash all the way down rather than, and still holding the key areas that we are looking at, right? So But anyways, let's move into our Chainlink, because there's so much interest for Chainlink right now. And I wanted to show you this theory about the parabolic curve pattern, right? So this is the parabolic curve pattern, as you can see. Well, let me zoom it in a little bit so you can see it even better. We basically use we form a base 1, we form a base 2, we form a base 3, and then as you can see at the base 3, at the endpoint of base 3, the stock could double in the shortest time of period, goes to insane highs, base 4, and then usually one more top towards the upside, and then we get a major crash towards the downside, right? So be very so what I'm seeing right now on Chainlink is basically that we are seeing a parabolic curve move, and I've drawn it out already for you guys here on this chart here on the weekly chart. And as you can see here, this is our base 1, this is our base 2, this is our base 3, this is our X, like I said, where the price can, you know, double very quickly towards the upside. And as you can see, this is most likely our base 4, and like I said, this is not you know, I am fully aware this is not going to be a very popular theory, but I'm saying, like, most likely we will have one, because there's still no bearish divergence on the daily, right? There's still no bearish divergence on the daily, but I think when we are going to be getting near that $20 area, somewhere around there, around the $20 area, maybe a little bit before that, I would say below, in between 19.5 and $20.5. If Chainlink gets there, once again, probability, if Chainlink get there, I would be very careful. I would be just very careful. I would not be entering Chainlink. I would not be buying Chainlink at that point in time, because not saying that it's 100% going to be happening, but you should be very careful, because this is a typical move, a typical parabolic curve, and we have seen parabolic curves many times before already with Bitcoin, with cryptocurrencies. And what happens after a parabolic curve? Very simple, a correction back down towards the golden pocket area. And as you can see here, and once again, probability, I'm just putting it out there, if Chainlink goes to 19.5, it's just a number that I'm putting out there. It can basically crash all the way back down towards $8. So I'm just saying, be very careful with Chainlink. Do I think that it's going to be happening immediately right now? No, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but when, like I said, I still think we have another leg up towards the upside whenever we start building some bearish divergence. I'm just saying that once we get to $19.5, $20.5, somewhere between there, it will most likely crash very hardcore back into our $8. Is it going to be in one move? Obviously, it's not going to be in one move, right? We're going to make bounces, right? So what is going to be happening is going to be bouncing towards the $12, then make a small dead cat bounce to the $10 dead cat bounce, and eventually going back towards the $8 area. But that's basically what every parabolic curve happens. So I'm just saying, be very careful once we get to the top of that area, some blow up top. And then that area, that base 3 area, or this where we had that start of the parabolic move, is actually the perfect area to be starting reaccumulating Chainlink at that area. So this is the area where I am very interested in to basically start accumulating Chainlink once again at around the $8 level, right? So if you're asking me where am I really interested in buying some Chainlink, that's the area where I would be interested in. Right now, like I said, most likely another leg towards the upside, but once we get there, to around $19.5, $20.5, be very careful. I would at that point, yeah, of course, like I said, until there's bearish divergence on the daily, I would, it's still an uptrend, right? So, but I'm just saying, once we get to that type of areas, be very careful. Things can go wrong very quickly, right? So, yes, if we don't get down to 11.7, So for example, if we don't get down to 11.7 or to 11.3 or something like that, the next move is basically the breakout move, right? So if we start closing above this R2, so basically if it's pretty simple. If it wicks above this previous high here, I would put an alert here. So let's put an horizontal ray here at exactly that previous high here, right? So poof, that's the previous high. So if it just spikes up above that 12,110, it is just basically a click long. That's basically what you have to be doing. So closing, just spiking above that price, I'll be entering my long, or closing starting closing a daily candle above the 4 hour here, right? So above this green box here, that would do it for me as well. So that would be my next move towards the upside, right? So one of those triggers, one of those two triggers, that would make me long, and like I said, most likely we'll be going towards 12.5, something like that, and then continuation most likely towards 13k or something like that. So those are the areas that I would be looking at in case that the price doesn't go back down. But yeah, it's more likely that it's gonna go back down than not. No. But anyways, we have our new 4 hour candle, and as you can see, we are now we still are holding above the R1. So yeah, nothing bad or anything like that. It can still go back to the R2 or R3 or something like that. But I will show you on the momentum. As you can see here on the 4 hour, stokes are now curling towards the downside because, well, I told you before already, this is our top. These were our previous tops. So I do expect us to be going back down a little bit during this weekend towards the downside, to be honest, and be very, like I said, be very, very careful during the weekend. It's very, very possible that we can get a scam wick towards this green box area towards the downside, right? So if we do break this rising channel towards the downside, don't panic. Don't panic. It's still basically a fill of this EMA 21, a retouch of this EMA 21 on the daily once again. So somewhere around here, very, very possible, or somewhere around here, very, very, very possible as well. Be very aware of, be very careful with that, right? But other than that, on the medium macro trend, as you can see here, stokes on the 12 hour are still curling towards the upside. On the daily, we are also, as you can see here, on the daily, it's trying to be curling towards the upside as well, and continuation towards the upside. So on the medium term, everything is still looking super good. But like I said, it's weekend. 4 hour short term looks like very toppy here for me. It's a resistance line that we are seeing, so most likely a pullback towards the downside. How much are we going to be pulling back to 11.7, where we hit our support RSI. So these are the scenarios that I'm looking at. Are we pulling back, just bounce here and bounce towards the upside, or are we actually breaking scam wick and then push back up later on? So those are the two scenarios. But since it's weekend, and since there's like quite a lot of people longing, I kind of have a feeling that people will they will want to be liquidating some longs. But it's just my thought, right? It's not 100% or anything like that. But those are the two areas that I would be looking at. Like I said, just go from green box to green box. Let's take a look on the expected move chart. Maybe we can see something from there. Expected move chart, first standard deviation towards the top side is 12,000. Like I said, yeah, that's the range towards the 12,000. And first standard deviation toward the downside is 11,734, which is the 11,700-ish area that we are talking about, right? So, yeah, where are we? Yep. So, yeah. 12,000 back to the R3, very, very possible. 11,700 back to our bottom of the channel, very, very possible. That is basically the range that we are talking about for the upcoming day. But very, be careful towards the downside. Chainlink set another all-time high. Oh, that's amazing. Let's take a look once again. Chainlink. Oh, yes, $18. Woo! Like I said, I mean, I really expect Chainlink to make another leg towards the upside. Once again, 19 and a half and 20 and a half. when Chainlink goes there, and inside that kind of territory and inside that range, be very, very careful. Why am I saying that also? Because, well, look at the RSI on the weekly. I'm talking about the weekly. The weekly RSI right now is at 90.58, and that's a weekly RSI. So I'm just saying, the crash is going to be substantial, because this is a parabolic move. I'm just saying, leg up, sure, but between 19.5 and 20.5, that's the danger zone for me, the very, very danger zone. And I have like I said, it will most likely be crashing very, very hard towards the downside, like, go to $20, like I said, $20, and then go crash back down to like $12 or something like that. People are going to be people are going to be very, very, very crying, to be honest, I think. But yeah, at one point it's gonna make that crash, because like I said, this looks like a full-blown parabolic curve towards the upside, and a parabolic curve is not sustainable, and it's gonna make that move towards the downside. So yeah, are you trying to short the top? Yeah, I mean, it sounds very, very appealing, but my okay, this is how I'm going to be approaching it, right? So I will not be able to short the top. The reason why is I will always wait for the confirmation of the daily divergence. Once I see daily divergence, I will enter my shorts. But most of the time, obviously, that is not going to be maximizing my top. I will never reach my top. I will never have the top. But it will be way more safer, because then I have confirmed my my daily divergence, and there's still enough meat in between that my short is going to be very, very profitable. So let me explain that again. So somebody can, for example, short it at $20, and from $20 going to $12, insane amount of profits, right? That's probably the max profits that you can have. But for me, what I'm going to be waiting for is on the daily divergence, right? So let's say it hits $20, it goes to, let's say, $18 or $17, confirming my daily bearish divergence. I'll be entering my short from that point and going back to the $12 or something like that. So I will only make the difference of like $5 or $6, which is a lot less, obviously, than the $8 or whatever the top was. But it will be a lot safer, right? Because it has confirmed for me the daily bearish divergence. So that's my trading style. So it depends on how much risk appetite you have, right? For some people, they just love to have the top. They just love to have the top. They just love to have the bottom. I will give you a very, very nice example actually on Bitcoin, right? So when Bitcoin did this here, it hit the $3,100 on the very, very, very bottom. I did not get into a position. I did not get into position at all. I got into a position when we got here at $4,000. Why? Because then it basically broke out and it confirmed my bullish divergence, right? So I got into my position only from 4,000 rather than from 3,100. So if you are very, very risk appetite and this and that, sure, you can already long. I mean, if you truly believe that that's the bottom or that's the top, you can go for it. But for me, it's too dangerous, right? So it really depends on what type of trading style or what risk management you are using. So for me, I'll just wait very, very patiently, very, very patiently. When I see bearish divergence, I won't be able to short the top. That is 100% certain. But on the other hand, it will be a lot less risky for me, because I have confirmed my bearish divergence, and then things will be easier for me to be handling risk managing my position. But just wanted to share with you guys, this really looks like a parabolic curve towards the upside. Does that mean that we are immediately going to be crashing immediately towards the downside? No, I mean, like I said, I still see a nice leg up, but I kind of have the feeling that that leg up, it will be most likely the last one. So I'm just saying somewhere between 19.5, 20.5. I would be very careful if you were interested in buying Chainlink at that type of price. That's the only thing that I wanted to get out for today. So yeah, I think we have covered pretty much everything that I wanted to cover. Yeah, we are in this channel, as you can see. Momentum, I really do believe that momentum is starting to be toppy here, as you can see here, with the Stokes curling towards the downside on the very short term. Once again, very short term. It's weekend. Be very, very careful. Be very careful. So yeah, most likely back support towards the bottom of the channel around the 11,700. If we don't hold that green box, be very careful. Scam wick towards this green box around 11,350. Very, very possible with the measured move of this channel breaking towards the downside like this, right? So, okay, be very, very aware of that. But it's not really that bad. It would just be hitting the bottom of the channel on the daily, or retouching the EMA 21 on the daily once again, right? As long as we keep making higher lows, things are still okay. Just saying. Other than that, very, very possible as well that we just hold our position towards the upside, as in, move another leg up back towards the R3. Do I think that we will be breaking the structure? No, most likely I don't think we're going to be breaking the structure just yet or anything like that. Next week, however, and definitely once we have the weekly candle close, we will have more information, right? So yeah, I guess that's it for today. That's still quite a lot of information, or a lot of stuff already. So, and as you can see right now, it's already starting to be dumping towards the downside. So I don't want to be prophetic or anything like that. But like I said, most likely we will have that retracement. Don't be in a rush to be in any position or anything like that. Better to just wait it out. Weekend bullshit is weekend bullshit. Putting out some scam orders on the bottom range is never a bad idea. Still, always always be sure that you have your stop losses and your risk management ready, right? But that's the plan for today. We will have a better plan, or a more long-term plan tomorrow. I'll go over some more macro stuff tomorrow, also for Ethereum, because of course Ethereum is actually quite interesting because the pairing is quite nice also as well, right? So let's see how things go. Hope to speak to you guys again tomorrow, same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. UTC +8. And until tomorrow, please stay home, stay safe.